Computer. All right.
Welcome back to Certified Beef. We have two very special guests with us tonight. We have Adam and Matt from the Fowled Out podcast. We were featured on them about, I would say, 8 months ago during the
April, yeah.
mock draft. Yeah, but we were featured on
Long
there,
overdue.
and we wanted to have these guys on. Yeah, long overdue. We wanted to have these guys on, show them their love, and yeah, how's it going, guys?
We're doing pretty good. Thanks for having us on. Appreciate the return favor.
Of course, always.
This is just so we get back onto the mock draft episode next year, just so we're clear.
Yeah, you got to pay your dues.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
One for one. All right. So as we do with every guest on that new guest that comes on Certified Beef, gotta ask you both some sports questions. All right. You guys ready?
Go for it.
First off, what is your favorite team from each of the four major sports? Both of you.
Oh, Matt, you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, I think mine is pretty easy. I'm Detroit all across the board. I grew up like 20 minutes outside of downtown Detroit, so kind of was born into that for better or worse in certain sports. So
yeah, mine's a little bit more weird. So I'm Boston and New England for football, hockey, and baseball. So the Red Sox, the Bruins, and the Patriots, which is why I was invited on so that you guys can make fun of me for the Thanksgiving game. But for basketball, I'm a huge Sacramento Kings fan. Actually, the only one that I know and the only one I've ever met.
Do you like Keegan Murray?
I love Keegan Murray.
Yeah.
Keegan Murray is the savior of the franchise.
Let's go.
I kind of wish we would have taken Jaden Ivey over him, but I
don't blame you for that.
Yeah,
I don't blame you for that. Jaden Ivey is awesome.
Jaden has been incredible.
It's going to be a point of contention for the rest of our podcast between me and Matt that the Pistons took Jaden Ivey and we got Keegan Murray, but it's okay. I do like Keegan a lot.
He just didn't want to live in Sacramento. I don't know what to tell you.
Isn't there like a theme with Sacramento taking like people right before like superstars? Isn't
yes,
like a
I
thing?
think so.
Yes, there's a long storied history of us taking players immediately before superstars. So we drafted Jimmer Fredette right in front of Klay Thompson. We drafted Thomas Robinson right in front of Dame Lillard. The list goes on and on. We took Marvin Bagley instead of Luka Doncic.
Oh, did you?
I was gonna try not to bring that one up because
I'm pretty sure you guys picked right before. I'm pretty sure you guys picked right before the Timberwolves during the Steph Curry draft too. So we both missed on that one.
Yeah.
Pretty much any superstar in the league, there's a Kings player that was drafted right before him.
Not LeBron though. You lucked out on that one.
Yeah, if we would have had the first pick, we would have done something stupid like take Darko Milicic.
I can't think of a single team that would have done that.
All right. Second question. Who is your favorite player overall that you have seen in person? Any of the sports. Doesn't matter.
I mean, favorite or best player?
Favorite.
Okay. Well, I mean, I did watch Matthew Stafford play a lot of football. And seeing that dude let it rip live is different. Like, holy shit, that ball flies.
Yeah, mine's pretty easy. Mine's Tom Brady.
Oh,
I think it's pretty obvious. The greatest quarterback of all time. I love Tom Brady. I became a Patriots fan back when I was like 9 or 10 years old when we still had Drew Bledsoe playing quarterback. And I love Tom right away. Rooted for him the entire time he was with the Patriots. But outside of Tom, I'll go Tuukka Rask, the former goalie for the Bruins, because the only person more pissed off than you were when Tuukka Rask let in a goal was Tuukka Rask. Like, look up the compilation of him breaking his stick on the crossbar.
Yeah,
after letting in goals, it's amazing.
I was banking on Nadavik and Sue coming out of your mouth, Matt. I was ready for it.
No, I mean, as much as I loved Sue, like, there's nothing like a quarterback that, like, he always gives you a shot because of who he is as a passer, but also you know that guy is willing to take a hit, and he's also willing to deliver a hit.
Yep,
I've
that
seen it
Browns
like,
game.
yep. And I think it was the Titans game that he like ran over a DB.
Ooh. What were you gonna say, Jack?
I mean, I can't believe you just called out Adam for saying Tom Brady when Matt just went with like the greatest Lions quarterback of all time. He just was Stafford. You could have said like, do you expect people's favorite players to not be from their teams? Like
No, no.
it's
But Tom Brady's just a lame pick,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
but that if you
Yeah.
had Tom Brady, you're telling me he wouldn't be your favorite player of all time?
Probably not.
Yeah.
That's such
I-
cap.
You
Can I
know
give
who I
you
am. I'm not
guys-
a big
yeah.
quarterback guy, Jack.
Can I give you guys my favorite non-patriot in the league right now?
Go for it.
Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, I saw that one coming.
I love me some JJ.
Did you like him last week?
Yeah, well, I could still be impressed by how good he is. I was like, why are we not putting like 4 guys on Justin Jefferson every single play?
That's a fair question
Yeah.
to ask.
I mean, mine would have is sad. Like it's the downcline of his career, but Julio Jones, I don't know what it like when I was younger, he was just I loved him. My dad always had him in fantasy, so that's kind of why I like paid attention to him and it made me like him even more. And then I started to take him in fantasy and I regretted every second of it. But
Yep.
yeah, he
It
was
sounds
great.
like the typical Julio Jones experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't pick up a Titans jersey, Jack, last year.
No, I already spent enough on Julio Jones, which was one jersey, and then he got traded at that off season. So
Was it that offseason? I thought it was later.
yeah, I don't know, something like that.
All right.
It was like a year of having a Falcons Julio Jones jersey, and then he got traded, so that was lovely.
Last question. What is your favorite jersey of all time? Doesn't matter the sport again. College or pro?
For me, it's those old Raptors jersey with like
Mm-hmm.
the actual Raptor on it.
Yep.
And my first jersey was actually a Damon Stoudemire Raptors jersey.
All right. That's a good pick.
Yeah.
Mine is the Sacramento Kings gold and purple alternate.
Oh my
from the
god.
mid-2000s. Yeah,
That's a joke.
no way. No way. I'm going to go with U of M football. I'm from the Detroit area. Matt and I both live here. I think U of M
Yeah.
football is just an absolute classic, and it's a beautiful jersey. I'm
It's
talking
very
like
clean.
The standard blue.
standard, like blue and maize. None of this like weird Adidas stuff that they got going on, or like the
I
new
like their
Jumpman
I like their
jerseys.
road jerseys a lot this year. They look pretty nice.
I was so confused when you said that. I was like, I mean, I know the Gophers have really good jerseys, but I would not expect that out of you because U of M is just like a class is what they say for Minnesota. So I was like,
Yeah.
I was lost, and then you started talking about out in Michigan, so I was like, makes sense.
Yeah.
I will-
because that's instantly what I went to. I was like, interesting.
I
It's
will say
funny
one
how
thing about
regional that is.
yeah, I'll say one thing about Minnesota. Matt and I both graduated from Western Michigan
Mhm.
in college, so we're big PJ Fleck fans. Or at least I am. Matt's got hard feelings.
Well, he's I'm a fan of his ability to coach. I'm not a fan of him as a person. But this isn't the podcast for that. So
All right. We can move along then. All right. So we're gonna be recapping 4 games from week 12. 3 of them are on Thanksgiving. That's the main reason why you 2 are here. Perfect episode for that. But we're gonna start with the one that's not Thanksgiving. Packers Eagles Sunday Night Football. Packers put up a good fight, but Eagles win 40-33.
I mean, anytime there's a
never
game
mind, go ahead.
where the Packers lose, I think that's a pretty damn good game. So
Yeah. It was annoying watching this game because I had bets on this game, and the Packers just don't do what they should do and run the ball. They ran the ball with AJ Dillon more than they did Aaron Jones, which didn't help at all. So I had bets on Aaron Jones and then Jalen Hurts, which easily hit. But it's just frustrating watching the Packers, knowing that what their strength is as a team. Like obviously, like I love watching them suffer because I'm a Vikings fan. But when you like when you like know what a team needs to do and they're on prime time and you can't and you watch them and they're not competent at anything, it's extremely frustrating to be put in a situation where you have to watch a team like that play football against a team that is very good in the Eagles. But I mean, obviously, it was a close game. I think this is probably the Packers one of their better defensive games they put on. They did enough
Even though
to
they
like
let up
somewhat keep
40,
it in the game. The offense wasn't that good.
but
Like
you still
Rodgers
let up
didn't
40
throw the.
points.
I mean, I'm not going to
They still
defend their
made some
defense in that
plays.
game, but I
Well, no, I'm not
will
either. They made enough
to your
plays.
point. Sorry, but to your point, like when you're going up against the Eagles, you know they put up points. So the number one thing you want
Yeah,
to do is
they
keep
made
their
plays.
offense off the field, and you do that by running the ball.
Yeah, and they just don't. I mean, the thing is, the Packers, they made enough plays. They were in positions to where they could, like, this game should have been out of reach. It was 13-0, and they got it back, took the lead. Like, I don't know, but it's just, and then when Jordan Love came in, they had a spark. Like, this is what they need to do. They need a competent quarterback in there. Aaron Rodgers is not competent, not because he's not a good quarterback. It's because he is physically unable to do anything. And Matt LaFleur, I'm starting to think that he might not be that good of a coach. I know that's crazy,
You
but
think?
well, I know that sounds stupid, but like you see this guy go we have 13 wins 3 years in a row. Then people are pointing out constantly. You see what this team can do. You see what they need to do. People are pointing this out all over the media, and he still just doesn't let it. Unless Aaron Rodgers is in his ear, which I'm not surprised if he is, because Aaron Rodgers is just an egotistical piece of shit. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's the reason why this offense is so bad, which he definitely is. But I mean, obviously, give you the credit to the Eagles. Literally one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen. Like defense, I know I said something about the Packers defense, but giving up over 300 yards of rushing in a game is just absolutely embarrassing. Like there's no reason why. You have Kenny Clark, one of the best nose tackles in the NFL. You should not have that problem. And yeah, I don't know. It's just I hate watching the Packers in prime time this year. They get it too much because they were good last year, but it's like Jesus, it just bothers me so much. But good win for the Eagles, but the Packers looked good, I guess. Enough.
Yeah, the 363 rushing yards by the Eagles, 16th most in an NFL game all time.
Ooh.
Really brutal.
Yeah.
The Packers, I mean, LaFleur is the typical coach born on third base. Kind of reminds me of Ryan Day at Ohio State, where you inherit a pretty good program and you do well with it. But much like Aaron Rodgers, when it actually matters, he doesn't show up. So we've seen this from the Packers the last couple of years in the playoffs. They can be 13-3 or 14-3 or whatever. I can never get the records right with the 17 game thing. So I'm going to keep messing it up. But
yeah,
when it's time to show up in the playoffs, it's just not there for either of those guys. And you see it in like the big primetime games too, especially with how frustrated Rodgers has been this year with this receiving core. They just couldn't do it on Sunday. They couldn't beat a good team on primetime.
Mm-hmm. And
to your point about oh no, you can go ahead. Or yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna go a different direction. So if you're gonna stick with that, then go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna ask to your point about where he got a good situation like Ryan Day. Did Mike McCarthy really leave in that good a situation? Because I remember when his last 2 years they were really bad. I don't know if that was because of Aaron Rodgers got hurt that 1 year, but they were really bad those 2 years. They were like 500 max.
I think 1 year Rodgers was hurt, and the other they were just straight up bad.
Yeah, I think it's more just when you take over an NFL coaching job, you typically are not inheriting a quarterback who's as good as Aaron Rodgers.
Correct.
Right. Yeah, no, yeah.
You know, and that's the biggest thing you need in the NFL is to have a good starting quarterback. And he's been, you know, not as much now because I do agree with you that his physical traits have fallen off to the point where he's not maybe in the top 10 anymore. But historically, in the last couple of years with LaFleur, I mean, guys won 2 MVP awards in a row. Yeah. So inheriting that guy is a pretty good position for a brand new NFL coach.
And you get one of the top receiver QB duos in the league just with Devontae and Rodgers right off the bat, and not like a pretty solid defensive base to build around. Yeah, he got put into a pretty good situation.
We've kind of been talking about this a lot this year. Do you guys think that Devontae Adams trade was a lose-lose?
Oh,
Like,
it
I look at that and I'm
absolutely
like,
is.
that's one of the like biggest lose-lose trades I've seen in a long time.
Not yet, because I still think
I
the Raiders come out on top for sure. Because it's Devontae Adams' first year, and the Raiders are just awful this year. So I think if McDaniels gets fired, like people think he might, and they bring in a better head coach, he might explode next year.
I think that it's more. I don't know if it's a win for either team. I think it's more of a win for Devontae Adams. I
That's
think
true.
he could saw through Aaron Rodgers' shit. I think he realized that this is not what he wanted as a player, or as what he wanted for a teammate. He just knew that this was going to go downhill. Plus, he gets to move back with obviously his college teammate. His family's from that area, so kind of a win-win. I think it's more of a win for him than any other aspect of that trade.
I agree.
Yeah, if they don't get rid of McDaniels, then it's a pretty massive loss for Vegas, I would say, because you're paying a wide receiver massive money, which in terms of team building, that's difficult to do. And then B, like, you lost significant draft capital getting this guy.
That is true.
I don't think they can trade him, or not trade him. Cut McDaniels, fire him, whatever.
Oh yeah, didn't they
because
say
of
they
the
didn't have
money.
enough money?
Yeah, they don't have enough money.
I bet
It
Raiders
doesn't
fan would
like
start a
it doesn't do
GoFundMe for
anything to
that.
like the cap. Like the
No,
owners,
but I'm
the
saying,
owners can legitimately actually like swallow that pill because they have that much money.
Oh yeah,
but I've heard that Mark Davis is actually like broke and he has zero money, and that's why he's saying he can't afford to do it. I know that he doesn't own the team yet, but he runs the team, and I've heard that he has zero money, and I've also heard that once his mom passes away, he's not going to be able to pay that money for the taxes to inherit the team. So I think there's a good chance the Raiders are going to have to sell once his mom passes away
is that
because he's broke,
necessarily
and
a
that's why
bad
he
thing
can't.
for them though?
Well, now I'm not saying it is, but that's why they can't get rid of Josh McDaniels. Also, they're so tight with money that they can't even get rid of their coach, who's really bad.
Yeah, that was just a bad hire from the get go. All right, second game.
Yeah.
We're looking at the middle Thanksgiving game. Giants at Cowboys. Close game. Cowboys win 28-20.
Yeah, we didn't do a ton on this one on our podcast. It kind of went as expected. The Giants are really beat up right now. It's been a rough couple weeks for them. And I mean, in my opinion, I think Dallas is just legitimately good.
I would agree with that.
I think
I feel that way about
scary.
Their defense is legitimately good. I don't expect them to score many points if they make the playoffs.
I think Tony Pollard's going to be that workhorse, and then they're just going to hand Zeke the ball on like the 2-yard line each time.
I don't know if he's got the gas for that.
Pollard didn't really do crap this week.
Zeke did have a better week, but I mean, Tony Pollard still had 60 yards, which isn't awful. It's not like he was a liability.
I like what
they won't use him enough.
Yeah, I like what they've tapped into with Pollard this year. We did breakout players for every division before the season started, and Tony Pollard was my pick only because, like, the only worry I had was that he wasn't going to get enough touches because of how much they prioritize Zeke in that offense with what they're paying him. But if they keep both those guys healthy out on the field, I mean, I don't know that Tony Pollard's going to be the 20 to 30 touch type of guy, but he's so explosive with the touches he gets that he adds a more dangerous element to their offense that they desperately needed with Amari Cooper leaving this offseason.
He is definitely one. He would be a good combo in any 1-2 running back room.
Yeah, I mean, outside of CeeDee Lamb, he is really the only like real explosive threat they have on that offense.
Yeah. Do you think that it is Mike McCarthy that's putting Zeke out there this much, or do you think it's Jerry Jones? So I'm firmly believing that's Jerry Jones.
Oh, it's 100% Jerry Jones.
Yeah,
oh yeah. And this is exactly what we said, is that like Jerry's going to be like, why is there a different running back on the field when I'm paying Zeke this much money? Like, he needs to be out there.
But
The
like you
best
can't
thing-
argue with your results right now. 8-3, like they're doing a good job right now.
No, but their team would they would be set that much better if Tony Pollard was the feature back. Way better.
The best thing
Zeke
that
could be
happened to
like-
them. Go ahead.
Zeke could be like the bus with the Steelers, just something like that, honestly.
Yeah, the best thing that happened to them this season was that Zeke got hurt and they had to feature Pollard.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You know, and it takes that like smacking them in the face with that coaching staff to really realize what they got on hand. So I think if they keep him involved, that offense stays explosive, especially with some of the other guys they have to kind of, you know, CeeDee Lamb taking it over the top and Dalton Schultz and some of the other guys underneath. I like it. On the Giants side of that game, I'm legitimately concerned the Giants will not win another game this entire season.
I think
And
they
miss
could
the
definitely
playoffs
fall
after
off.
starting 7-2.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, especially with their
Mhm.
current offensive line injury situation. It's pretty brutal. I mean, you're talking about like 3 backups going out there every game, and that's really hard to deal with when, you know, you've got games left against both the Cowboys and the team that used to be the Redskins, because I refuse to say that name. So bad. It just, they go up against too many good defensive lines the rest of this year that Daniel Jones is going to have people in his face all year.
That being said, though, they only did allow 3 sacks, which is, I mean, that's manageable for playing against a front as good as the Cowboys.
A lot of that is because he's so mobile. Like, it doesn't get talked about enough, but Daniel Jones can really move.
Not in this game because
Agreed.
he only got 14 yards, but fair enough. Do you think he earned himself another year, Daniel Jones? Or
No.
do you think they're just going to move on from him now?
I don't think they have
I don't think they.
a choice.
Actually, I don't think they have a choice. Yeah, I was gonna say they're not in a position to draft a quarterback.
Could always trade up.
So unless they sign like
I'm-
Jimmy Garoppolo,
That could happen.
I was just about to say, book it. Giants quarterback next year is Jimmy Garoppolo.
Really?
It's coming. I think it's coming. I think they let Daniel Jones go in free agency, and maybe you draft like a developmental QB a little bit later. But you're going to need someone to start next year with Daboll.
But I don't know.
I
Like,
mean,
I
Daboll's
don't know who
style
else
is he's been with Buffalo before. And I think he likes his more mobile quarterbacks because he had Josh Allen, and now he's got Daniel Jones.
Who else? Who is the other option besides Daniel Jones? I don't even know who was a free agent quarterback besides Jimmy G. No one.
Isn't Tom Brady? No.
well, technically,
Yeah,
Lamar,
Tom Brady
but he
is,
ain't
yeah.
going
Tom
nowhere.
Brady. That was right. Cool.
I don't know. I don't know.
I think.
Um,
I think
but
the
this
Jets
game-
are or the
This
Giants
game though was
gotta
just
stick with them.
I wouldn't be
backdoor cover by
surprised
the
if
Giants. Good for betters.
I think the Jets are a real threat to go after Garoppolo as well.
The Jets. They don't ride out with Mike White. He's not gonna be their starter next year.
That entirely depends on how he plays the rest of this year.
Who knows? He might play good. He might shock people
Yeah,
again.
Yeah, what?
I legitimately want him to because of just the memes.
That would be pretty funny. Not next week, but the weeks after. That's fine.
That situation just makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it's confusing, but I won't be actually surprised if they're just done because Robert Saleh seems like a no. He doesn't seem like he takes any shit, so I won't be surprised if Zach Wilson's out there.
Oh, well, the other problem is that Zach Wilson is legitimately bad.
That too. He's not very good right now.
Yeah, his EPA, the expected yards per pass, or like the expected yards added per pass, is 46 out of 47 quarterbacks who have thrown a pass this year.
Who's the last one?
We'd have to look that up. It's probably like the third stringer from some team somewhere, but it's rough with Zach Wilson. He's
I
been
wonder if it's
legitimately horrible.
Kyle Allen. Does he just play this week? I don't know. It's definitely not any of the Miami quarterbacks because
I don't think it's gonna be
was definitely
Skylar
better.
Thompson. Yeah,
I mean, Nathan Peterman played this past
that's
week.
true.
So.
It was Nathan Peterman. I
Wait,
forgot
Nathan
about
Peterman
that.
actually played.
Yeah, because Trevor Simeon got hurt in pregame warmups. I didn't know the
Trevor
Bears
Siemian
had
played
him.
the whole game.
They
Trevor
said that
Siemian played the
Peterman was
entire
starting.
game, I thought. But he played. I watched that game. I know for a fact that Simeon was in there.
Huh. I saw on Sleeper that
So I
they're
know when
like he got injured.
unless Peterman came. Yeah, no. They said he was. It was like the worst, like worst reporting I've ever seen by Adam Schefter in his life. Like he literally reported like right away. They go on the Sunday countdown. He's like Nathan Peterman subject to start now because Trevor Siemian plays. Then they get on then Joe Davis and Daryl Johnson are like, we have no idea who's going to play quarterback in this game. And then all of a sudden, literally, right before he steps on the field, they're like, oh, it is Trevor Siemian starting for this game. And it was by far the most, it was like such a diabolical situation. I was so confused.
I
Yeah,
think the
no,
worst
you're right.
reporting Adam Schefter has ever done was beating Tom Brady to the punch of his retirement. That was stupid.
Yeah, I mean, that's also true.
Because who
have the
knows? Maybe
answer.
Tom Brady would be here right now if Schefter did do that.
I have the answer for you guys. The lowest quarterback in terms of expected points added this season, EPA. Matt, I don't think you're ready for this. Mitch Trubisky.
Oh,
Not
that makes
surprised. He was
sense.
horrible.
That makes sense.
Damn. The Mitch Trubisky fans are going to come for me again. I slandered Mitch Trubisky this offseason, saying that I would actually pay $10 million for him to not play for my team. And I've never been
Agreed.
hammered that hard on Twitter by Trubisky fans, ever.
How many are there? Like 3 that responded to you then?
Yeah, all 3 of them.
Okay.
They got me.
Okay. Man,
You know,
that must have been a beatdown then.
what I've learned is when people come for you on Twitter for something, it's usually strictly because you were right.
Yeah.
Did you guys buy the blue check marks?
Yeah, I got my $8 a month set aside.
Nice, cool.
Except I changed my Twitter thing to the Certified Beef Podcast.
Oh, okay.
And I verified it and just started like tweeting out random stuff.
All right, love to hear it. Get that brand out there.
Publicity is any publicity, you know.
There's no such thing as
We'll
bad
take it.
publicity.
New tweet: the Vikings are the worst team in the NFL. I hate the Hawkeyes.
Hey, that might be something that comes out of my mouth eventually, but not right now.
That actually would come out of my mouth if the Vikings lost a bad game because I don't know. I despise the Hawkeyes just because Brandon likes them for some reason or goes there. I don't know why. I just do.
I think it's just because you hate me, but we'll move on.
I don't hate you. It's fun. It's just fun to root against you.
Yeah, I
You
know.
get so passionate about it, and it's so funny.
You live and breathe it, man. Can't explain it. That's all. That's what you do. If NDSU was Division 1, you'd be the same way.
Oh yeah, but they're just
They're
not.
not.
It's
No.
it's
They
hard to
should
get
be,
behind
but they're
this
not.
sports here.
What's their record this year?
Oh.
Just a little quick side note.
They have 2 losses. I don't know how many
Wow,
wins.
that's impressive.
I don't even. Yeah.
Is that like the most they've had in 20 years?
Yeah, I think they lost 2 games the year Trey Lance sat out. Maybe I don't remember, but I'm not totally sure. But yeah, definitely. Yeah, probably like the most since Matt Entz has got here. So,
Wow. How long was that?
Yeah.
I don't know that guy. I'm assuming he's their head
I think it's
coach.
like 6 or 7 years or something. Yeah, I don't know. The people around here, they think this is like the worst team they've ever seen in a while. Out of this, they're like something. I don't know who they're talking to. This guy was like, "Yeah, well, who knows? This team could probably lose to anyone this year." And they have 2 losses, and they lost to an FBS team. It's like, dude, you lost to a rival in an FBS team, and they lost. They acted like it was the end of the world. Like, and I wouldn't even be surprised if they go win the championship now. And the weirdest thing is we won last year. We on campus, you would not be able to tell. I know it did happen over winter break, but you would have no idea that we won a national championship. It's the weirdest thing.
All right, back to NFL game. I know you want to talk about, Matt. Bills Lions. What a game! What a breakdown by the Lions in the last minute. Bills win 28-25 to open the Thanksgiving slate.
Yeah, I mean, 3 weeks ago, when you have 1 win, you don't really see yourself going toe to toe with a preseason Super Bowl favorite. Uh, but like, man, they stepped up and they did a lot of really good things in that game. And if Jared Goff could literally hit that throw, that's another win. Unfortunately, that is precisely the game that proves that Jared Goff is not good enough to win you a playoff game.
Do you still like Dan Campbell as your head coach?
Yes,
Okay.
unequivocally.
All right.
I mean, he's not perfect, but you can also turn around and look at John Harbaugh, who, I mean, everyone admits is a good to great NFL head coach.
Yes, one of the
And
best.
he makes tons of mistakes in terms of managing the game. So,
yeah, how do you lose to the Jaguars? Come on now.
you know, they, I don't even know how much credit to give to the Jaguars there because I'm pretty sure like every single game that the Ravens have lost this year, they've had like a 2-score lead in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah, they've led by 10 in every game.
Yeah, they actually set the record for most double-digit leads blown in the NFL in the fourth quarter.
It's only week
amazing.
13.
Yeah.
I think they've like
Week
blown
13.
3 14-point fourth quarter leads or something like that this season.
Mm-hmm.
That's the record right there. I mean, let's be real, Matt. With the Lions, the game is my fault. I issued a public
Yes, it is.
apology
I was
to.
trying to cover for you.
I know, I appreciate it, but I issued a public apology to the city of Detroit and the greater Metro Detroit area last week because Matt texted me during the game and he was like, "I'm not going to say it when the Lions were up," and I went on to say that we should have bet the Lions money line and started calling them the Money Lions.
Oh, that's pretty good though. I like
that.
Yeah, and it was
gotta
all
put that on a
downhill from
t-shirt.
there. All downhill from there.
I mean, I was legitimately rooting for the Lions this game. I kind of want to see the Bills implode because I think that'd be pretty funny. I hope they lose tonight, and I hope they get swept by the division, but I'm not sure that's gonna happen. Only gripe I have with the Lions this game is that I don't know why you're taking a shot on 3rd and 1 all the way down the field. Just run the ball with Jamal Williams real quick. Or it was like 3rd and short. I know that. And then you can't let Diggs get that wide open. That's all you gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, with Diggs, obviously, injuries were an issue there. Okuda not playing in that game. If Okuda's healthy, he does not score that last touchdown. It just doesn't happen. And then Jerry Jacobs, who was our next man up beyond him, he was then out because they were checking to see if he had a concussion. So next one up after that, tried to play up close on him, but didn't jam him. It's Stephon Diggs. If you don't get your hands on him.
Was it Mike Hughes?
Yep, it was Mike Hughes. Yep. I love how you just knew who that was by the description.
Well, no, I was just like thinking about it because like I know he's been
forgot.
like somewhat decent this year, but I was just figured he's blown quite a few coverages, so I was assuming that.
Yeah. But yeah, that's as far as the play call goes, my understanding is that there were 2 calls in that huddle and there were 9 men in the box. They checked to the pass call and they had the looks they liked on the outside. The thing that I disagree with there is liking the look, not because DJ Chark didn't win that battle, because he did. Jared Goff cannot hit that throw.
Yeah, this just felt like the most classic Lions Thanksgiving game. They're so competitive, which let me just say this: I fell in love with the Lions this preseason.
Yep.
With Hard Knocks, I love this team. Like I love Dan Campbell. I love I just love. I don't know why. Even though they're a division rival, I just love this team. The only reason why they're a division rival because I don't see them as a threat ever because they're the Lions. But it was just such a classic Lions Thanksgiving game where they always do something just stupid at the end. and they're always in it to win it. And then like last year, I'm pretty sure they had a very good chance to win it against the Bears last year, and then they did something dumb, and then they lost it on the last second field goal, and they did that in this game too.
Yeah.
It's just it's every year. It's like I root for the Lions almost every year. This year, probably not. I'm a big Buffalo Bills guy too. I don't know why. I love just Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, kind of why. But I just like those two teams. But it's every year. I always get on the Lions side, and it's just it sucks. I feel for Detroit fans and around Thanksgiving.
I hear where you're coming from there. What I will say is different about this particular game is the things that we're pointing out were like the limited mistakes that the Lions made in this game.
Yeah,
and
no,
they actually
yeah
they made very few mistakes in that game, and unfortunately, when you have that much less talent than you have against, say, a team like the Buffalo Bills, you're not allowed to make those mistakes. You can't miss that throw. You can't have a stupid roughing the passer on second down.
Oh yeah, that was bad.
Setting up a fucking 1st and goal when it would have been 3rd and 10. Not for Josh Allen. You can't miss a field goal when it's short. Like, you need those 3 points.
Oh, that was the worst announcer jigs ever.
Oh, that was pretty funny. Yeah.
No, this game was very like classic Lions because they always ruin your Thanksgiving. And it's like it's going to be against the Bills, and so you look at it and you're like, okay, like I accept that the Lions are going to lose. Like as a Lions fan, you're like, yeah, I just know the Lions are going to lose. We're not going to compete with the Bills. That's fine. I'll just enjoy my Thanksgiving. And then they suck you in just to break your heart, which is like the most classic Lions thing ever.
Yeah, this literally that happened with the Vikings against the Bills, but we actually did win.
Yeah.
But that's literally exactly what happened. I accepted that we are going to lose before we're going in. So the whole game was awesome. Like I didn't care at all. When we were down 27-10, I was like, okay, well, fantasy guys go off in this game. And then of course, even when we scored to go down 1 possession, I was just like, okay, whatever. We made it competitive. And they got the ball back. I'm like, this is a joke. Like, you got to be kidding me. I told myself I wasn't going to get involved, and now I'm fully involved. That's exactly what it probably is for like Thanksgiving games for the Lions. And now I understand. Now it makes sense.
Yeah, that Vikings-Bills game was the most asinine ending that I have ever watched in a game.
Yeah.
That final 2 minutes felt at least like a half hour, if not more. It probably took a half hour.
It was like a game of hot potato.
Yeah. It was awful.
Yep.
Okay, 2 things before we move on though. One, when is DeAndre Swift gonna get back on track? I kind of need him in fantasy a little bit.
When he decides to run hard.
Okay. And then
I'm so confused. Is he hurt actually, or I have him in fantasy, but it's in my bad league, so I don't really care.
He's got some injuries, but nothing that he's not capable of playing through. It's just he doesn't have the same running mentality as a guy like Jamal Williams, and he needs to get to that point if he wants to be consistent.
This would be one of the best 1-2 punches in the entire NFL if he was awesome.
Yeah,
but he's not right
now. Because those first couple of games, he was seeing the hole, he was decisive, and he was hitting it. And then he got hurt, and he just came back and just didn't have it. For whatever reason, he just lost that edge.
So I haven't watched many Lions games, but has Jamal Williams actually been that good of a running back, or is he just like scoring a bunch of touchdowns?
I think he's made the most of what he's had to work with. So
that makes sense.
In games where we are opening up holes, like he's plowing through guys. I mean, he's not like out there looking like Barry Sanders, because that's just not the type of running style that he has. But he's never falling backwards.
Yeah.
So.
And then 2, do you like Aaron Glenn as your defensive coordinator?
He really tested my resolve. But I do like the changes that he's made this year. we came into this season missing some really important pieces on our defense, and I think that he probably miscalculated on what this defense was capable of doing. But now that we've gotten some guys back, they made some changes in the coaching department, and they're putting out game plans now that are giving the defense a chance to actually keep the team in the game. And given where we started, like, I mean, they were on path to be like literally the worst defense in the history of the NFL. And the last several weeks, that defense has been pretty damn solid. So I'll take that.
All right. Final game. Vikings Patriots, US Bank Stadium to end Thanksgiving night. Vikings win 33-26. Fun fact, Justin Jefferson had the best QBR with 97.5.
He can do it all.
Yep.
Yeah, so we decided to come on the podcast before this game happened. We had agreed to come on. I thought about not coming on while I was watching the game, but unlike the Patriots defense, I did decide to show up.
Oh, good job.
It's man, I've heard a lot of, like, I have a lot of Patriot fans in my life, obviously, being a Patriots fan, and my family being from Boston originally, my dad's side of the family. I've heard a lot of complaining about the refs and about the calls that were missed and about touchdowns overturned.
That was a touchdown. I will say, I think that should have been a touchdown.
Well, yeah, but what I wanted to say is that, like, you can complain about the refs all you want. I get it. I understand why people would be upset. But I don't think that you get to blame the refs for losing that game when you played that sloppy. The mental mistakes that the Patriots actually made, I think, had a greater effect on the game than any calls made by the ref. And I actually thought the refs were pretty bad both ways. I'm pretty sure that I saw WWE moves used on Justin Jefferson trying to stop him. So yeah, I mean, the kick return for a touchdown is a backbreaker, and there's some people pointing out that there was holding on that, but
it is your fault if you get held. Remember
the
that.
kick returner is also already beyond where the guy's being held. So it's pretty true.
I'm pretty sure that's like negates holding too a lot of times.
It should. It really should. If the holding happens behind the play, it shouldn't matter. But I mean, yeah, allowing the kick return for a touchdown, leaving guys, like, there was a third down where I think it was like 3rd and 12 for the Vikings, and Jalen Reagor was more wide open than I've ever seen a wide receiver in my life.
Only catch of the game for 25 yards.
Yeah. So,
wide
I mean,
open.
Pretty sure that, like, the Vikings at one point were 7 for 10 on third down. So when you show up on the road and you're that sloppy and you're making mental mistakes, like running into the punter and getting a penalty on that, like, you really can't blame the refs. Like, I'm not a blame the refs guy, especially when you played that poorly.
Yeah, well,
I agree.
And all the signs were there, like, very early in the game, that it was just not the Patriots' day. I mean, you go out there, you let the Vikings just march all the way down the field, score a quick touchdown. First snap of the game, Mac fumbles it. Thankfully, he gets it back, and they go down and score. But then the Vikings get the ball back, turn the ball over. Pat's got a really short field to get it, like, in the red zone, and you kick a field goal. Like, that is not a very good, like, that's a very ominous start to your game. And it's just it played out exactly as you would have expected it to. Also, I want to point out that it is incredibly hilarious to me that not only did it work out this way, but every single 100% of the money put down on the bet as to whether or not Kirk Cousins would throw an interception in that game was that he would. And of course he did.
That was an awful pick.
Primetime Kirk is a thing.
It is.
I disagree, but I fully disagree on that take, but I've been on that one for a while. I think that is such a Commanders, whatever, Washington team thing. Ever since he's been to the Vikings, he's been a lot better on prime time.
Except
And I
for
don't
Monday
think
Night
people look
Footballs
into
in
that.
Seattle. Those suck. But otherwise,
Well, yeah, the one, and
the
then
two.
he has the one against the Eagles, and then the other two against the Bears, he won. But I don't know. That's one gripe I always have, is that people look into that one too much. That team he was on Washington was god awful, and they put him in prime time way too much then. And he's not on prime time as much, and he's a lot better. But
I mean,
yeah,
he was great on Thursday. I actually really like
Yeah.
the game plan. We talk about this a lot last
Yeah.
year when the Patriots played the Cleveland Browns and they used Myles Garrett's aggressiveness against him.
Mhm.
I thought the Vikings did a
Mhm.
very similar thing with Judon, where they were kind of letting him get upfield. They were rolling Kirk out a lot and giving him some easy throws underneath. I liked it. I mean,
Mhm.
my only thought on playing the Vikings is I came away thinking, like,
Mhm.
why do we not just put 3 guys on Justin Jefferson every time? Like, I don't know if you guys remember the classic Saints versus Lions, where the
Yep.
Saints literally
Yep.
put 3 guys over Calvin Johnson.
Mhm.
I was like,
Yeah.
let's do that, because that's the only dude I'm worried about right now. And I
Yeah.
know like Jalen Reagor and Thielen were torching us on a couple third downs, but God, Justin Jefferson is just such a monster. I want my entire defense devoted to him
Yeah.
every single play.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you really got to ask yourself, are those other guys going to be good enough that they're going to be able to take you all the way downfield? Probably not.
I don't know. Thielen and Hawkinson, they could do something.
I mean,
If you're double
It
and
depends
triple
on what
covering,
Hawkinson you're getting.
I mean, he's been consistent. I mean, that's not like he had one
And
explosive game and he's averaged 40 yards basically, but he's still moving the
He's
chains.
caught over 5
yeah,
passes in every game.
Yeah.
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
he has those games where like it's just a random one here or there where he'll like drop a couple and then just like he'll catch the ball, but then for whatever reason he'll just like kind of go down easy, and it's like, dude, did
He
you
still needs
just
to
like
figure out the
lose
offense a little
focus?
bit.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I mean
Yeah.
he's got all the potential in the world. So
Yeah. Flip into the Patriots side. I think the Vikings, they need to start game planning for running backs catching the ball because obviously we had Tony Pollard torch us. And then this week Ramondre Stevenson torched us 9 for 76. Like that's just unacceptable, I think.
Yeah, but I would have to say that one of them was definitely the most of the yards, so I would say it wasn't as bad. One massive play.
That is true. It
So
was his long was 40.
he had like 25. Yeah, he had like 25 or something like that going into that play, and then he had the massive play. So, and he had like 5 catches. So 5 for 25 is not the worst
That
when
is true, but
Mac Jones is constantly dumping it down.
2 consecutive weeks where running backs have done good things for the opposition is not a good look. So it might be something that the Vikings need to look into a little bit more.
well, and when you're talking about like defenses going into the NFL playoffs, these coaches are scouring every inch of film that is there, and if there is the slightest chink in your armor, they're going to probe at that and see if they can use it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Uh,
Fortunately, I was able to go to this game, so it's definitely a different experience for you guys. I wasn't able to see all these ref missed calls or whatever. But one thing I was very impressed with, obviously, you give up 26 points, not always looking good. Patriots were 0-3 converting in the red zone in this game. Both the touchdowns the Vikings gave up were kind of fluky plays, definitely miscues, mistakes, which obviously most of those are going to turn into touchdowns, but that's pretty much what it was. That was the difference for them. I think the difference in this game was them not being or stopping them in the red zone. God, watching the Vikings run the same stretch play 20 times in this game to get 4 yards at the most was goddamn annoying. I know that you have to establish the run for the play action to work, but the Patriots weren't stopping anything through the air. We could have thrown the ball 50 times, and I don't think it would have made a difference. It was just annoying watching us try to run the ball that game. Also, if we would have lost this game, this would have been easily the worst game I would have ever gone to. Behind me, I had this one guy doing play-by-play when the Vikings were on offense. By far, one of the most annoying things I've ever had to deal with. Whoever that guy is, go fuck yourself. I hope to never see you at a game again. I don't care that you're a Vikings fan. You are a piece of shit.
Did you
If
count the
you want to
TV
play by
timeouts?
play, no.
Oh,
Why did you?
no. If I just know that annoys you when
No,
I
I don't
point them
count the
out.
TV timeouts. Yeah, but it's like that guy just fucking sucked. I hate that guy. Fuck you. Um, yeah, but it overall great game. Good. Glad it wasn't like I don't know. I'm glad it didn't turn into a shit show because if we would have lost 2 weeks in a row like that, it would not have been good. I was just impressed that we were able to turn around after a 40-3 blowout and put a decent game together.
This Ed Donatel defense though is like riding a roller coaster, man. It's up and it's down.
Bend don't break. That's kind of what it is, but it doesn't help when you're down to your fifth corner.
That too.
When you're down to your fifth corner, it doesn't help. But there was no pass rush to begin. Mac Jones could have stood back there for
he got 3 sacks
his entire life. Yeah, they were like coverage sacks though. He could have stood back there for a year if he wanted to. It was awful.
That is one thing that we need to improve on.
The one thing I will caution you guys about is not to be too excited about your red zone defense. The Patriots are 31st in red zone conversion percentage. I know. And they're 26 in offensive DVOA. So, I mean, Matt Patricia is coaching the offense, and it's so bad.
Yeah.
No, I know we're really bad. I'm pretty sure we're like bottom 5 in red zone defense. It was just one game that I was just like, oh wow, we stopped him in the red zone. No, I'm definitely not ecstatic about a red zone defense.
No, it's like what happens when a stoppable force meets a movable object. It's like the worst red zone defense versus the worst red zone offense. And yeah, it's just, man, I cannot stress enough how bad the offense has been under Matt Patricia this year.
Yeah, no, I
hard to watch.
I could have told you that it was going to look like that because, head coach.
Yeah, I despised Matt Patricia when he was coaching our defense. And I tried to tell all the Detroit fans, I live in the Metro Detroit area, and I tried to tell all the Detroit fans in my life that this is the worst possible hire for your head coach.
Why did he switch to offense? I don't get that. That's such a weird career move.
Wait, he was a defensive guy?
Yeah.
He was our defensive coordinator when we lost the Super Bowl to Nick Foles and the Eagles. And then he got the head coaching job for the Lions, was awful there, came back as a special assistant, and now he's coaching the offense. And this is my biggest problem with Belichick, is that he is unwilling to listen to new voices. Yeah. So the defensive coordinator is his son right now.
Yeah. I thought he was just a linebackers coach.
He's the de facto defensive coordinator. Okay. We don't believe in titles in New England. Matt Patricia and Joe Judge, who was our former special teams coach, who left to coach the Giants, and then they brought him back as well after he failed somewhere else. I guarantee you, Josh McDaniels gets fired this year, he will be back on the Patriots sideline.
I wouldn't doubt that.
Doing something. And
100%.
Just I don't know if he just doesn't want to listen to it, but the lack of bringing in new voices into the coaching staff, I think, is what has really screwed us since Tom Brady left.
Would you rather have Matt Patricia or Matt Canada?
Oh my goodness. Can I just not watch NFL football anymore?
No offense for you.
Yeah, it's just I would just love to see us bring, and I said this when Josh McDaniels left, is I was like, can we just get like a new voice, someone innovative, someone to just bring something different? And they brought back Joe Judge and Matt Patricia, and they're like, two guys who have never coached offensive football in the NFL in their lives. That's what we're going to go with. And we're paying for it. We've paid for it all year.
Yeah, I think.
Well, it worked for Indy.
Kind of worked for it. I mean, they're still 1-2, but they're
more than
better.
It was.
Yeah.
I will say that first touchdown though, that Mac threw, That was actually a really good job of him of looking off the safeties and opening up that middle of the field. That was the Mac that we saw last year.
Yeah, he played his best game of the season. I'm not super high on Mac Jones.
Still whelmed.
Do you still want Bailey Zappi
I
back?
was gonna say, who is Mac Jones the guy, and do you want Bailey Zappi to start? I was gonna ask that. I totally forgot about that.
I'm gonna say no to both those questions. I don't believe that Mac Jones is the guy right now, and also I don't think Bailey Zappi should be starting over him. I think that Mac Jones is a better quarterback than Bailey Zappi. But I'm not convinced that he's the long-term answer after 2 seasons.
It's very sad to say that was his best game, that his QBR was still like 56. Like, that's pretty atrocious.
Well, how's your QBR 56 if he doesn't throw an interception? Or did he throw an interception? I don't remember.
He did not throw an interception, but they take points. They don't give you the points for hitting like wide open guys all over the place, like if it's a super easy throw like that. So yeah, I don't
know how that works. I don't know how the calculations for that go. So
yeah, he got really hyped up because he made the playoffs last year as a rookie quarterback, and he had like the best rookie season out of a draft class that might actually be pretty poor at quarterback,
which is insane. But
yeah. He had a 7-game win streak, and it was all against teams that were under 500 last season.
And you had a monster defense.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing this year. It's a paper tiger, where when we play teams that are under 500, we play teams with bad quarterbacks. The defense is amazing, looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
You go in and you have to try to guard Justin Jefferson for 60 minutes, and all of a sudden you really start seeing the holes in that defense.
Mm-hmm.
We're thin at corner. I mean,
Kirk Cousins, good quarterback.
Yeah,
you did just say that.
It's
when you play bad quarterbacks.
I have him in like my top 12 in the NFL right now.
At number 12.
Yeah, number 12, baby.
Yeah.
But yeah, when they play better quarterbacks, they play good quarterbacks. That's when you start seeing that it's really been more of a paper tiger for the last couple seasons. Even Tom Brady's last season, where they went 12-4, they started 8-0, but they played 8 horrible teams. And then when they started playing better teams, you kind of saw the weaknesses there. So they got some work to do. They're still rebuilding. I think that's the thing that most Patriot fans don't agree on or won't tell you, is that we're in the rebuilding phase still. And I like the way it's going, but we still got a ways to go.
Do you think, like you said about Bill Belichick, not willing to hear new people, new voices, or whatever? Do you think that it would be the worst thing to fire him and get something different? Fired.
He's gonna pass down.
Yeah, but I know he's not. But I'm saying, as someone who is disgruntled by all this, bringing in old people from jobs they got fired from, like, would it be that big of a deal to fire Bill Belichick and then bring in something new?
Yes, I'm frustrated by some of the decisions he's made the last couple seasons, but we could go 0-17 until the day I die, and I will never support firing Bill Belichick. He's the greatest football coach of all time. He's led my team to. I've watched my team win 6 Super Bowls in my lifetime. Between the 3 of you, how many Super Bowls have you watched your teams win?
Yeah.
Hey. So he can go. He's got the longest runway of anybody in my life.
Oh, yeah.
So I will never ever support firing him.
Understandable.
Nice.
I mean, I wouldn't say I wouldn't say like, oh, that's a horrible thing to say.
No, it's a good question. It's a good question, because a lot of people are questioning if he can do it without Brady, and has he kind of lost his fastball? And I definitely have my
think that's 100% true.
Yeah, I think
that's 100% true.
I do think he's lost his fastball in some regards.
But I also don't think he has a good situation.
No, there's a lot of problems there. I think a lot of them will get solved this offseason. They have $100 million in cap space. So
yeah, probably
they can start going around and fixing some stuff. But it's been tough, man. When Brady left, he left a massive dead cap hit because of the way they structured his contract. So it's a rebuilding phase. And to be 6-5, soon to be 6-6 in a rebuilding phase, and 10-7 last year, that's still pretty damn good.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing.
You're an accelerated or like a competitive rebuild.
Yeah. no matter what lack of talent he has on the field, this team is always going to be competitive because he is that damn good.
Yeah. And like
Mhm.
you've also got to keep in mind that Bill Belichick is always going to be have a massive aversion to risk. And when he doesn't feel like the roster he has can pull off the risks, then he's definitely not going to take them. And that's why you see this. Oh, in part, obviously, Matt Patricia and Joe Judge have their part to play in it, but you see a very, very conservative offense overall.
But it looks like in that conservative offense, you have found a very good running back in Ramondre. So I think he could benefit that system. Like it'll be a mutual good beneficial relationship between the Patriots and him.
Yeah, we have the basis for a very good team moving forward with some of the guys we've drafted the last couple of years. I'm excited about the future. I just Mac Jones, I'm still jury's out. I'm not saying no, but he needs to convince me still.
That's a fair assessment.
Yeah, I mean, we were obviously a lot higher on Mac Jones before Matt Patricia got his hands on him. So I I would be curious to see how he looks uh when he's being coached by someone who actually understands football and doesn't fall back on one single play for their entire resume.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, do we got to recap any other games, or I think we're good from
No.
the week 12 schedule. All right. So I wanted to take a quick look at all of our teams schedules to finish the year. I want your guys' thoughts on what your records are going to be. So we'll start with the Lions. We'll start with you, Matt. So you got the Jaguars at home this week, then at home against the Vikings, on the road against the Jets, at Panthers, first Bears, at Packers.
Yeah, I've thought about this, and I think we probably end up at 8-9.
That's very
That's
respectable. That's very
yeah.
respectable.
I think that I mean there's a chance to win every single one of those games. Um, it's just a matter of getting the consistency and the fact that there are obviously they close out the year with 3 straight road games. So
Yeah, that's tough.
winning 3 in a row on the road is maybe not super likely, but
The NFL schedule makers just hate you.
they really do.
3 on the road.
We had like
3
the
out of 4 on
second
the road. Yeah.
Yeah. And then like to start the year we had like through like 10 weeks had like the second hardest schedule in the NFL with the last place schedule.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, they're
8-9
not
is
con-
definitely the I would say
That'd
the
be.
ceiling, but definitely reachable.
Oh yeah. Because I think the two most losable games, I'm obviously going to say the Vikings, but then also like the
Yeah.
Jets. So they continue on their current
Yeah.
trajectory of having a great defense and playing like some solid offense. I think you could lose there, but otherwise, all the other ones, you you definitely got a good shot to win.
Yeah, the question with the Jets game is what happens at the quarterback position for the Jets.
Yes. Yep,
So
for sure. All right, Adam, on to you. Patriots. They're playing the Bills right now. Not looking too hot, but still in the game, down by 10 in the third quarter. So you got that game at Cardinals, at Raiders versus the Bengals versus the Dolphins, at Bills.
It's brutal down the stretch, man. This is a tough schedule.
yeah.
So I'll tell you guys, I bet on the Bills tonight minus 4.5. I think they're a really bad matchup for us. We saw it in the playoffs last year. They're probably going to lose that game and be 6-6. So I want to go 8-9 to be optimistic. I'm probably going to go 7-10. To be honest, I think we win one of those Cardinals and Raiders games, but those other teams all have stuff to play for down the stretch. And I think that they're all better than us, man. The Bengals look good lately. The Dolphins and Bills are the class of the AFC East. So
What
yeah,
the Cardinals have to play for?
No, I think the Cardinals will beat. We could beat the Raiders.
Can
I
they
think that one's a coin
please flex
toss.
that one game?
Out of Monday
Please
Night
flex that out
Football.
of Sunday night.
Oh, and the Patriots.
No, Sunday night.
Raiders.
Please
No,
flex
so I
that
think
game.
I think
do
we
not
take the
want to watch that.
Cardinals next week, but
Yeah.
I'm iffy on the rest of them. The Raiders is the coin flip game that either makes us 8-9 or 7-10. But I'll go.
I think
go
you got to
7 and
give that a
10.
win against Josh McDaniels. Bill Belichick will eat that game.
I actually like the way the Raiders have been playing lately, and I question our
No,
ability
I
to
do.
stop
I agree.
Devontae Adams.
I agree.
Don't you usually split
Oh,
with the
yeah.
Dolphins?
Usually, but usually the Dolphins don't have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle.
But you've already lost your one, so they might win this
It's
one
true.
at home.
But
Yeah,
those
And I
candy
feel like
ass
you could beat
uniforms
the
in the
Bills.
cold.
I feel like you can. Maybe not this week, but the end of the year, I feel like you could.
I very much appreciate everyone's optimism, but
Oh no, I am not being optimistic
I
about
don't
those
have
games.
that
Sorry,
optimism.
those are losses.
It's
No,
only
but-
Brandon, I don't
Brandon.
know what you're
trying to
talking
convince
about.
me the Raiders might beat the Raiders. We might beat the no. I think 8-9 is the ceiling, and I'm probably going to go 7-10.
That's not too far off your prediction, though. Your preseason prediction. So
Yep, I was between 7 and 9 everywhere. I think some of the games that we needed to win to get to 9, we've already lost. Like that
Like the
Bears
Bears
game was
game.
particularly brutal. Yes.
Yeah.
Bears game, the Packers game.
The Bears game, the Packers game. Yep. There's a couple games
Okay, you
that I
can't
thought we
do
could
much
split
about
with
the
the
Packers
Dolphins.
game.
Adam, I
thought
want to
we-
give you props. You finally got the numbers right.
He
I-
did say 7-9, like right after he got it right, but I wasn't gonna say anything.
Oh.
The only reason I got it right is because I was listening as Matt was talking about the Lions. I was sitting here just writing stuff down. I was like, all right, there's 17.
Yeah. All right, Jack, Vikings. We got the Jets this week at home, at Lions, versus Colts, versus Giants, at Packers, at Bears.
All right.
9-2.
If we win this week, I think we win out. That's just me. I think this is the hardest game left on the schedule. The two teams are the best team on the schedule left is at home, play particularly well at home. I think the Packers, Aaron Rodgers won't be playing at the time because he said that he won't play if it's not meaningful. So I think Aaron Rodgers will be out, so we don't even have to think about that. And
You might
I
as well
think the
not play
Bears
another game the rest of the year.
Yeah,
No,
Jordan Love
I
should just start
agree.
from this point
I
on.
agree. But I think that the Bears game, I think that is going to be a crucial game for probably the 1 seed if we're at that point. Because we obviously still need to win one more game than the Eagles.
Mhm.
So I think even week 18, we're going to have to win a game. So I think honestly, it's either 15-2 or 14-3, unless we somehow like the only other way I think the Lions will play us tough. I think we could definitely lose that game. So I think 13-4 is definitely the floor. I think, and then after I think it's at least 14-3 though. If I were to guess going down the stretch, like I know, like it sounds. I don't want to be a homer, but like the schedule's not tough, and I think we're a lot better than people may think we are. And I don't know.
I think 13-4 would be a safe bet because I feel like playing down to your opponent is definitely a thing. Like, I feel like the Jets one is gonna be close. I feel like the Lions, they're still fighting for a playoff spot, so I think they'll play us tough. Obviously, we saw what happened in that first game that they took us all the way down to the wire. And
Okay, I honestly
Ford
think
Field,
that the whole
We gave you that one.
I think
yeah, you did.
yeah, I think playing down to the opponent is a farce against the division. I think that is the most unless I don't even care if you're one of the worst teams in the NFL. A divisional game means it does not matter how bad you are. You don't play down to a divisional opponent. That's just not a thing in my opinion. I think the divisional games are the hardest in football
Oh yeah.
out of any game.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I think the whole like you got 3 games left in division. I don't think there's
But I'm talking
only games
well,
we could
the Bears. I would still consider playing down.
I'm just saying. I was just before you even got to it. I was just gonna say, that's what I believe. I think that those games. I think that whole phrase against divisional opponents is just not true.
But like the Colts, I feel like we could play down to them. They still got a solid defense. It's just that they're not doing too hot this year. Like I think 13-4 is definitely where I'd be sitting at, probably a 2 seed. And
So who do you think we lose to then, Brandon, is what I'm going to ask. Because I think the
so
only
we're
game
at,
we'd lose to is the Jets.
I think we lose. I'm feeling right now looking at the schedule. I'm thinking it's gonna be the Lions and the Bears. I'm gonna be honest. Because I feel like the Bears, like you just said, no matter how bad they are or how bad we are, it's always a close game most of the time. And if is Justin Fields coming back? Yeah, he is, right? Is he coming back this season?
I think he's playing this week. He practiced fully today.
If he continues to do what he's done over the past like 3 or 4 weeks, like we could be in trouble at Soldier. Greg Joseph might come back to bite us on that turf. Like those are the 2 games I'm not feeling extremely confident about. Like the Packers, I think we should be able to handle them at Lambeau. All the other games, they seem very like all the games are very winnable. Don't get me wrong, but those 2 are just sticking out to me right now for some reason.
So this Vikings Lions game, you guys know what this game is going to come down to, right? Both of our
No, but
both of our quarterbacks have like this weird tendency to make like the most inexplicable interceptions. And it's just going to be which one of them does it at the worst time.
did you see what time the game is at, though?
It is 1 o'clock, so that's
I think
that
you
is
mean
a
noon. It's
Noon
noon.
Well,
nightmare. I
yeah,
don't know.
no.
The noon
Sorry,
nightmare.
we
It's not
live
the
in the
1
Eastern
p.m.
time
nightmare,
zone.
no.
Yeah. The
We
noon
don't live in your
nightmare.
You're
fantasy
just lucky
land
it's
of
not the
noon.
3:25 Central Time terror.
Oh God, that's the worst name ever. Yeah, but yeah, who knows?
It's gonna be a close
Right.
game for sure. That's what I'm feeling.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, and you guys will get to probably deal with Jameson Williams then too.
Oh, that's
I'm
true.
not scared of that dude. He's coming off an ACL. Not scared.
I don't know. If
Is he
we
even play next?
Speed.
Is he even gonna? Is he
Yeah.
gonna? Is he even gonna play?
He has been practicing this week. They're expecting him to play this week. So
This week? Oh,
yeah.
okay. I'm still not scared, but
I'm a little nervous if it's a Caleb Evans on Jameson Williams, that'd be an interesting battle.
Cam Dantzler might be back next week too, though.
He might be. If he is,
He can come back next week.
might need to shake off a little bit of rust if he has any, but let's hope not.
All right. Well,
I'm just saying if you guys have to guard anyone other than St. Brown, that's definitely an uptick.
Yeah.
that's true.
We're just gonna let Jamal Williams run for 2 touchdowns. Then he'll get another penalty for the triple pump, and then we'll come back and win. That's what's gonna happen.
That is the NFL should be paying him for doing that.
Why?
Because it was incredible.
That's not family friendly though.
Oh please. All those kids are already doing worse shit.
There's very little about the NFL that actually is family friendly.
Right?
Oh yeah.
I agree.
It's pretty much just the mascots at this point.
Which you should check out.
Even them.
You should
The
check out the
Jaguars
Vikings
mascot last week.
You should check out the Vikings mascot's Twitter. It's pretty funny.
Oh god.
No,
I think they should have more of those.
Family friendly. What do you got to do to Speedo?
They need to have more of those mascots versus kids football games, and just get more highlights out of those.
That seems fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, should
All
always
right.
be the halftime entertainment.
Mm-hmm. It's time for Book It with Beef. God damn it! All right.
What was your
I hate
record
this
last week,
segment
Jack?
so much.
What's your overall
1-4.
record?
1-4. I don't even know. I gotta look at the Instagram. I'm not gonna lie, because I don't even know what it is at this point. It's just so in the toilet. It's
I am 28,
incredibly
23
bad.
and 2, doing great. 5-2-1 in the banks. That's why you don't book it with Beef. You book it with
must be
Brandon.
nice. Oh my God.
I'm excited to be a part
Oh,
of Book It
no.
with Beef this week because I follow you guys on Instagram and I keep up with the Book It with Beef picks.
Thank you.
I like it. So we're excited to be a part of this.
Who do you?
I
You need to start voting though, because I noticed you're never in any of the polls.
I follow you guys on Instagram. I don't spend a lot of time on Instagram,
Okay.
but I
Okay,
will start
that's
voting in the
fair.
polls though.
Okay, that's
That's
fair.
fair. Honestly, I wouldn't even want to go on it because I hate it. This is literally like I used to love this segment, and it's literally turned into my least favorite part in very, very fast fashion. It's every week is just a nightmare waiting to happen, and it's been rough. All right.
The good thing
Don't
for
worry,
us
Jack.
is
I
if
went
we
1-4 too last week.
if we do bad, then Matt and I never have to come back.
Yeah.
No, I mean that's fair.
Yeah.
Here, give me a second. I gotta go back and look.
My only bet
But
that
I went
our
1 and
only bet
4.
that cashed was the Lions plus 9.5. So thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. Oh my gosh.
I should have made that money in the
It's
bank. What the hell is
okay.
that?
I was gonna look. I forgot to look at it, but I'm pretty sure I haven't gone above 500 in my. Let's see, 1, 5, 2. I haven't gone above 500 since week 7. That's how bad it's been.
God.
I'm gonna
That is
teach you guys.
Well,
I teach you guys our podcasting trick from our preseason picks. It's your podcast. You own the rights. You could just go delete it. If it's
True.
wrong, we'll just get rid of it. We'll just erase that part of the audio.
Yeah.
but it's still on the
Yeah.
Instagram, and I have control of the Instagram.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
true.
true.
So
You need Brandon to do poorly.
Yeah.
yeah, I am now up to 20, 24, and 29.
Hold on.
I'm gonna
I need
look
to
at
write that down.
let's see what my record was at the beginning. I was once 14-9. I am now 25 and 29, or 24 and 29, or whatever it was I just said. Yeah,
What did you say?
24 and 29.
24 and
24 and 29 with a 4 and 5 book it in the bank, book it with beef record, or in the bank record. I mean, I was once 4 and 1 in that category. I haven't hit. It's rough. I'm glad we didn't put a punishment on this because I have set
there's
myself
still
up for
time. Do
absolute
you guys
failure.
got any?
Oh yeah, of course you want to do it now.
Do you guys?
Of course you want to do it now.
Do you guys got any suggestions
Of
for
course.
that?
He has to buy and wear an Aaron Rodgers jersey.
Oh my God, I would agree with that before the season, but not now. I actually don't know if I ever could do that.
I think we need
Oh.
to get you guys on next year for our record predictions so that you can be a part of the sweat that is to try and not eat the blazing wings from B Dubs.
Oh God.
Yep.
So
It's the worst.
that's
the
an
worst.
experience.
It is
I'm
an
for it.
experience. I went through it already. It is an experience and a half. One of the worst days of my life, actually. Matter of fact.
It all happened in
All
my
right.
basement.
Is it worse
Yep.
going in or out?
I'm definitely out. Well, no, my tactic was to stop the heat was the problem. I ate a full tub of ice cream from Cold Stone, and I had I had like a quart or a pint of chocolate milk
I thought it was
in a matter of
milk.
30 minutes. It was not strawberry. I hate strawberry milk. It was in a matter of like 30 minutes. I ate the wings, the ice cream, and then the chocolate milk. It was rough. It was.
That was one of my favorite episodes. March Madness with it too.
I know what to do now because I'm worried that I might do it again. I know what to do now. I know water's not the trick, but I'm just going to strictly stick to water. I'd rather pee a lot than just be absolutely just sitting down for a while.
All right, this is too much information. Let's get going.
Yeah. All right. We'll start with the Fouled Out boys. Your favorite.
So my actual advice to your listeners is to not bet favorites at all.
That's fair.
I don't ever do that.
Yeah, I picked one, but I will tell you that covers.com tracks the data for all of the against the spread information from the season, and that dogs are covering at a 56.3% rate this season.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You need to be slightly over 52 to break even on minus 110 bets. So they're cashing this season. That said, we have the Washington Commanders minus 2.5 over the New York Giants.
Wait, they're favorites?
Wait, you
Mhm.
said that wrong.
Favorites on the road.
I thought they were just the Washington whatever team.
On our podcast, we refer to them as the Washington Fighting Georges because
That's right.
we tried to rebrand them at one point and they didn't listen to us, but our brand was better.
So minus
Yep.
2.5 Commanders at Atlanta. All right. I like it.
And Atlanta,
Commanders
they're at the
at
Giants.
Giants.
Oh,
Yep.
at Giants, whatever.
I didn't even know
Same
they were
thing.
favorites. I'm gonna be honest. I totally missed that.
I did not like that line. I'm gonna be honest. I was scrolling through Barstool Sportsbook. I did not care for that.
Oh yeah, now they might have a different bookie than us or different books so
A
that we
different
get
bookie.
adjusted lines. If they have this, I don't know. I just
Yeah.
said bookie, but the way we do it is if you have a better line, everyone gets to take that line. If you do it from different sites, we discovered that last year. That was better doing it that way.
Okay, we
Hi,
use
Brandon.
FanDuel. So FanDuel has a minus 2.5 on the road.
Yeah, that's probably why we can't use FanDuel here, so that's kind of why we don't. It's not legal. It sucks.
The great state of Michigan, everything is legal.
Yeah.
Man, I wish.
Yep.
Except Underdog Fantasy had to like resubmit their application, so you have to like you can't use it anymore until they like process it again. So
Damn.
Remember,
that
gamble
sucks.
responsibly. If you need the national helpline, go to our Instagram. It's at the bottom of every Book It with Beef post in the corner.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
Or just don't bet. Just fade me. Then you'll be fine. Just fade beef. All right, Brandon. Favorite.
Why are you saying favorite?
That's what they do on Part My Take. I didn't I just say that.
Okay. My favorite this week. It's one that I wasn't feeling too confident in to begin with. But we're feeling good. The new nightmare strikes again. Minnesota -3 versus the Jets. Was like I said, wasn't feeling too hot because I feel like this is kind of a little bit of a toss-up game. But I feel like I like this line more than others at the time, and I'm gonna stick with it. And if it hits, then it's a double win for me. So I like it.
Where's the sound effect?
It's not in the bank.
Oh, I thought you said it's a double hit.
No, I said it would be a double win because the Vikings would win
Oh.
and I would win and Book It with Beef.
All right. So my favorite. I hate this segment. I hate betting now. I'm gonna do a line I hate. I hate to do this. Packers -3.5.
Wow.
If Aaron Rodgers plays, he owns the Bears. So that was my strategy going into that.
That is a fair strategy. I will give you that.
So
I thought you were about to do the
hate it.
Lions because I saw the Lions were like a 0.5 favorite over the Jaguars.
Oh
Yeah, I'll tell you guys that
I saw them as +1.
We had a couple written down, and the other one I had written down was Lions -1 over
I
Jacksonville.
was feeling that, but also like I feel like it could go either way, so I wasn't too confident.
Yeah. See, I normally go with the Vikings no matter what, but I just can't do that. I gotta put less pressure on them. Let Brandon do it. He's doing better. So,
But it was working for you, except for the Washington game.
it hasn't worked since that Washington game. So yeah, no, it hasn't.
Oh.
All right. Your dog this week.
So we're gonna take a big swing here.
Ooh.
Make a splash on the podcast and say the Houston Texans money line over the Cleveland Browns. Yes, the Houston Texans to win. It's Deshaun Watson is starting his first game since 2020 back in Houston, the team he came from, the place he committed his crimes.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a mojo thing, man. There's no statistical analysis behind this except for just like, it's a good story. Look at Russell Wilson losing to Denver this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think they can do it. Also, Cleveland is 31st in rushing DVOA. People run all over him. I think Dameon Pierce has a big game, keeps the Cleveland offense off the field. I think Houston can pull this one out.
Yeah, and I mean, they've got some big play potential on the outside between Brandon Cooks and Nico Collins.
Mm-hmm. I like that pick.
Houston Texans, you got money line.
Money line.
We
That's
do. We do. Unless
money line is acceptable.
We're just putting it down. Money. Okay, we're doing money line.
Money line is
normally we just do the
here.
spreads, so they're just doing money line. That's fair.
Yeah. Let me just tell you guys that a line that commonly occurs on our show is that scared money don't make money.
Thanks.
Yep.
Yeah, you do
I'm
sound
taking that
confident.
money line, man. It's plus 270 right now.
That's good odds.
That's pretty nice.
That's very good odds. All right, Brandon, what's your dog?
My underdog this week. We're piggybacking off of you, but we're going Houston +7 versus Cleveland. I think they come out determined. They're ready to take on the massage menace. They're gonna take him down. I feel like they could get like 3 or 4 sacks this game, the Texans, just because they're so ready to like just finally like clear Deshaun's name off their books like entirely. Like I don't know how much rust Deshaun is gonna have, but he probably hasn't built that much chemistry with his teammates yet. Like he's only been practicing for 2 or 3 weeks. That's not enough time, in my opinion, to build full rapport with them. I think Houston, the way I told Jack this already, the way I look at it is that I pick money line, but I also get the points with it. Like I think the Texans are going to win outright, but just in case they don't, still got +7, like the Texans here.
Yeah, I like that one too. I didn't take it, just because the Texans are just that bad. It's hard to take that. Plus, their rushing defense is so bad too that I feel like Nick Chubb could have a big game and just take the load off of Deshaun Watson.
I'm counting on
I did
that
not
in
like
fantasy.
Kind of
not like
same.
that.
I have him in every league.
But I also got Deshaun.
Yeah.
I picked him up this week. So
when you guys were talking about Matt Patricia, when you said he gets his hands on Mac Jones, I was going to ask who has worse hands, Matt Patricia or Deshaun Watson. It felt like it was not appropriate, but
you
I don't
still said
know.
it anyways.
And yet here we
It's
are.
funny, yeah. But Deshaun Watson was brought up. I wasn't going to say unless Deshaun Watson was brought up. All right, my dog is the Dirty Birds, the Falcons, +1 at home against the Steelers. I think the Steelers probably played their best game of the season overall. Maybe not best. They played pretty solid against the Bengals, but I think that the Falcons are a lot better at home. They came off a very disappointing game where they had a very good chance to win at the Commanders. I think it's a bounce back week for them at home. Still have a shot at winning that division. Still crazy as it is. Still have a shot at winning that division. Pretty big game for them. Coming back home down the stretch. +1. I like this is definitely one where I would say Falcons money line because I'm not voting for a tie, so I expect the Falcons to win this game.
Love it.
All right, overs.
So our over is going to be our in the bank or our lock, whatever you guys refer to it
In
as.
the bank.
In the bank, the Raiders versus the Chargers over 50.5.
That's a fun over.
So the Raiders are 32nd in defensive DVOA with a 1% variance, which means they're bad every week. The Chargers are 22nd. They're also respectively 26th and 29th in points allowed. And over the last 3 games, the Raiders are averaging 431 yards per game. Raiders also one of only 6 teams that go over in 60% of their games this season.
Wow, I would not expect that.
There is going to be a lot of points. The Raiders allow a ton and score a ton, and they've been scoring a ton lately. So we're going to lock that one up.
The Chargers just can never seem to figure out the defense. It just never happens for them in the past couple of years. Like they've always seemed to have a solid defense on paper, but always one thing goes wrong.
Yeah, I mean, charge is going to charge.
Yeah. Yep.
That's another line that we use constantly.
I mean, it's fitting a lot of time.
Yes.
It's mainly because they keep charging.
Yeah.
All right, Brandon, you're over.
My over this week. We're going to US Bank Stadium. Jets, Vikings, 44.5. Let's hear it, Randy. Straight cash, homie. In the bank. There's going to be a lot of points scored here. Vikings just put up 30 points. And the Jets can score some points too. I think that this is going to be a high scoring game. Vikings play well at home. I don't think there should be any trouble at all hitting 44.5. I feel like that's low for this game.
Yeah, I don't mind it. This one, my over to keep the integrity of the podcast. Definitely could have switched it as this game's going on right now. I just thought this game was going to be kind of like last week, maybe a shootout. Bills like to light it up against the Patriots. But I kept my pick. I'm staying true. I wrote it down before we started recording. I have the Bills versus New England right now, 44. I need 2 more touchdowns for this to hit. It's not my in the bank because that would not my in the bank. But I felt like this game was going to be more of a shootout like it was last week, and a more points because Buffalo just likes to score points against New England in bunches. But it turns out not. It might not be that. So we're rooting for 2 more touchdowns.
Never too late. I will tell you guys, we didn't use this one because the game's already underway, but I smashed the Buffalo Bills minus 4.5 against New England.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's looking like it's pretty good right now. So
Yeah, I mean the big thing with playing the Bills is you got to be able to score points, and that is not something that Matt Patricia is very good at doing.
Yeah,
we don't like Matt Patricia.
Mm-hmm. All right, your unders.
So the unders, we have Colts and Cowboys under 43.5. I think both teams have to score typically for it to go over, and I do not see the Colts scoring a lot of points this weekend. That Cowboys defense is really good. Matt Ryan against the pass rush makes me nervous, so I could easily see that one as an under.
That's a good pick. I did not see that one. My under for this week, I think this may be the first time ever in Book It with Beef history that there's only been 2 games picked. I'm going Cleveland at Houston under 47.
Wow.
I think that this is going to be a very run-heavy game. I also feel like the teams just won't want to score points just because I feel like that's what they do. So I'm hoping Nick Chubb, he gets his nice touchdown or 2 with some like 50-odd yards, whatever. And then Dameon Pierce does a thing, and that's it. No passing, no whatever. Just chew that clock.
I for how bad I've been doing with this, I'm surprised I did not catch up to this. I don't know why. Finally heard about it last week. I don't know why I didn't understand to do this. This is free money. Denver versus Baltimore, 39.5 under in the bank. The Broncos games have gone under in every game but one. What am I doing? I'm just dumb. I'm a horrible bettor.
39.5.
39.5. Yeah, I'm just a horrible bettor. I can't believe that a team can be this bad and have it this like NFL, like this day and age, teams score points and their over unders are going down. It was 36 last week, and it still didn't hit. It still didn't hit the over. So, and Baltimore, their offense has been struggling lately too. We don't know how bad Denver's offense is. So yeah, I feel like this has got to be another under.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the one time they went over, I picked Denver to hit the under. I'm pretty sure it happened against Las Vegas.
It happened against the No, yeah, it did happen against Vegas. You're right.
Vegas. They blew it out of the water.
Yeah, that was the one game that they've actually scored more than 20 points in a game.
Yep.
All right. Well,
cool.
It's gonna do it.
Plug your podcast. Go for it.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Plug your
socials.
Yeah, so the podcast is Fowled Out Sports, so it's FOWLED. You can hit us up on Twitter at Fowled Out Sports. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, Fowled Out Sports Podcast. Pretty much everywhere. Do a little bit. Okay. A little bit of dancing. No, it's mostly just clips from the podcast and then like little dances in the background sometimes, depending on what Matt's background is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're very similar to you guys. We're just kind of going through whatever's in the zeitgeist in sports. We do weekly NFL recaps that come out on Wednesdays. And then we got the NFL playoffs coming up. Our big bragging point on our podcast is that Matt and I were, what was the record? 10-3 in our playoff betting last year for the NFL.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah, it was a really good year. We were very good the year before too. We've gotten the last 2 Super Bowls, nailed those as well as player props. So if you guys are digging the Book It with Beef segments, come check that out as well, coming up in the playoffs. And then after the Super Bowl, we'll do a little bit of NBA content, a lot of NFL draft stuff coming up here as well. That's one of our big events of the year. We do about 4 to 5 NFL draft podcasts and then a recap every year.
Yeah, we might be doing a little bit more NBA stuff this year. Got a buddy who's very smart basketball mind. Well, a couple of them now. That we like to do NBA stuff with. Last year we did a really fun like 2000s NBA player redraft.
Ooh.
Into like the modern game. So we like to do stuff like that.
Yeah, that's always fun too.
Awesome.
Just different scenarios, mix it up a little bit, change of pace.
That
Always
reminds me,
nice.
Jack, we need to get another draft on here sometime soon. We haven't done one of those in a while.
Yeah, I guess we haven't. Draft. Yeah, I suppose. When was the last one we did?
The hat
Was
draft.
it the hat draft?
In July or June.
Was it not after the auction? Was that after the chop house or whatever it was?
Steakhouse? I think it was.
Steakhouse.
I think it was after. Yeah.
All right. Well,
whatever. No, it was before.
Want to thank you guys for coming on the podcast. Yes. It was fun talking football with you guys. Great insights. Obviously, definitely
it's fun when it's not
you get
all Vikings on here.
Yeah, and different perspectives is always nice, and definitely bringing more of the analytical side of me. I feel like I'm definitely more of a vibes guy when I talk
had
about
no clue what you're talking about when you're naming like that. Deal, whatever.
Yeah, we do a lot of that, like a lot of both. So we do a lot of like heuristic stuff, like gut feel stuff on our podcast, but also like a lot of statistical analysis to back it up.
Right.
But I will tell you that before the season, we did a full episode of the quote unquote vibe check for every team in the NFL. And we eliminated teams like the Arizona Cardinals from playoff contention before the season even started because the vibe was bad.
Yep.
So I feel you there.
Yeah. But no, great for different. Definitely always good at bringing something different. But I appreciate you guys coming on. It was fun hashing it out with you guys. No bitterness too. Like I wasn't expecting any bitterness with the Lions and the Patriots coming in. Because
I
think that you'll find that Matt and I are probably two of the more level-headed.
That's what I was going to say earlier when you're talking about like Belichick and stuff like that. Like, oh, that's different.
Yeah, it's very like what we try to do on the podcast is really be reasonable, like kind of level-headed, but then also we put our fan hats on every once in a while and have some fun that way.
I definitely feel like I try to be level-headed. The only time I'm not is when I just talk about the Packers because it's the one thing I thrive to hate. And obviously Matt knows.
I would say that's pretty level-headed.
Yeah, exactly.
It's something we can all agree on. But yeah, thank you guys for having us. We appreciate it. We had a bunch of fun hanging out with you guys as well.
Definitely gotta get you back on sooner than later. It's not gonna take 6 months or whatever it is.
Yeah,
for sure. We'll have you guys on again too, especially when we're doing some of the draft stuff. It'll be fun.
All right.
I'm ready to draft offensive linemen again. So ready. Only offensive
line. Well, it was fun. That's gonna do it for us here at Certified Beef. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
See ya.
Fuck the Packers.